Sorry about that. Internet dropped. Really need to just kind of get a replacement router for that default CenturyLink thing, because it's constantly crapping out and dropping. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Anyway, so I don't know where that ended off, so I guess I'll just kind of start over. So at least for like some stuff I've seen for really big cosplay channels where they're doing stuff, they're talking about how their stuff is like, but these are also like full costumes and stuff. They're talking about how they're like just it's really the time that's kind of like the biggest thing, and like time and then running it as sort of a business where you have all of these other additional costs of taxes and, you know, basically you're having to budget a lot of these extra costs of a workspace and things like that. And I mean, I'm not even doing this as a business and commissions and other stuff like that, so. But some of the stuff I've seen where people are talking about it, they're like, you know, $5,000+ for like full suits of stuff. But anyway, I digress. Because I was trying to like do a basic calculation. Right now of this, and so like material cost was basically 1.5 rolls. Time wise for printing alone, people were talking about how generally they charge like $1 an hour for printing, so that in itself would be like an additional sort of what, $48 upon the material cost for the amount of printing time on this. So that in itself is basically about 100 for just printing. And so now when we start going into all this other stuff with the assembly, I don't even know how long this will take. Probably not too long, truthfully. I mean, I've been at this, what, 2 hours on that. But really it's going to be all the post-processing stuff here. Hey, glitches. How? Thank you for the raid. I don't understand what's going on with my alert stuff. It's not doing stuff that it should be. So when you were talking about the skull stuff, I actually started like talking to myself, just trying to figure out, you know, because I mean, these aren't like anywhere near as big and complex as some of the stuff that people sell for, like, you know, the Iron Man suits and all this other stuff where they're selling them for thousands of dollars and stuff like that. But just kind of like, even just the basic time I was thinking of here now with kind of just print time and materials, I was already about at $100 with that. And then so like, I don't know how long the assembly of this stuff here, the the post-processing, just trying to sand it and paint all this other stuff here is going to take on that. That's kind of really the main kicker for a lot of stuff with the 3D printing costumes and stuff like that when you're doing commissions. I mean, it's a similar thing with, like, you know, when you're doing your drawing stuff. It's not like you doing the paper and the pencils and the markers and other stuff like that. That's, you know, the cost is not really that bad on that. It's the time investment for stuff that's the kicker when you're doing, like, custom one-off stuff. I should do a shout out here and not be a dummy. Shout out Ants Glitches. How was your drawing going? I was lurking in there. I didn't see, like, the most recent setup for it, or like the most recent progress on it, but saw you were doing some art stuff and was lurking in there before I started doing this. Hope it's all going good. Hope you'll like the progress you're making on it. I know that's always kind of the big issue with drawing stuff. You always are... It's hard to not hate your stuff. At least for me. But I also am not, like, super practiced and experienced with drawing stuff. I don't do it as much as I should. Yeah, this is all kinda... This part inside of the nose here is kind of a pain to get here. Alright, come on. Actually, I'm enjoying this silly little... You're back. I thought it'd be cool to get the parts assembled, if possible, and paint, but whatnot. Yeah, the assembly part itself is not too terrible, honestly. Like, And I mean, like, depending on the printer you're getting and stuff, I mean, the one that I've got is super, I mean, shit. It's pretty old. There's a lot of really good printers for... It just is consistently getting cheaper and more affordable, but I understand also not wanting to go through, and if you're not going to be doing stuff consistently with the printer, it's not really worth it. 'Cause, I mean, it is also one of those issues of, like, you know, depending on what you're trying to print out affects, like, what printer you're going to want to get. Whether you're going to want to do, like, small little miniature stuff. So if you're doing that, you'll want a UV resin printer, because the details on it are crazy. But if you're doing the bigger cosplay type of stuff or things like that, you want the filament one. The filament ones are kind of a pain in the butt comparatively to the UV. They both kind of have their own issues with, like, types of maintenance and other stuff like that. You know, nothing. Well, yeah, I mean, just, you know, hit me up about any questions or anything like that. I have both of them. I have both a UV resin printer and a filament one. So, because I've been printing lots of small stuff for Kiwi's jewelry stuff for quite a while now. Basically, like, she has me print more stuff for her than I actually use the printer for myself. But, yeah, glitches, I mean, we can talk, for sure. Yeah, let me, is there... I know you're talking about, like, this Raven one and other stuff like that. I mean, honestly, kind of, like, trying to just do more of this stuff, and so... Well, I don't think I mentioned it to you. Still need to get a display tablet, yeah. Yeah, I think it's just kind of a cost is... I mean, I don't mind doing it, but the amount of time is really the killer. Where if I want to, like... It's the same stuff with the drawing, you know. If you're going to want to pay yourself at, like, even just you know, minimum wage, you know, I mean, federal minimum wage is absolute garbage with, like, what, $7 an hour or something like that? So, you know, 4 hours on a drawing is already basically $30, and that's not including material, and also you shouldn't be paying yourself minimum wage because, you know, you've been drawing and practicing and doing this stuff for a long time, and you have a skill at it. So, I mean, probably could try and sell them, but it's just the cost is prohibitive for most people who would want them for commissions. It's one of those things where it's exactly the same stuff with, like, drawing and because I mean, I've seen some stuff where people are talking about, like, you know, the people who do, like, the full Iron Man suits and all this other stuff like that, like, if they were to, like, actually charge commissions and stuff like that for their work with people, it's like $5,000 just because mostly all the post work. the assembly, the sanding, the painting, all this. It's just it's a ton of work for that part. I did not make this model. This was a free commercial. Yes, commercial attribution thing. So more than likely. Because, I mean, for some of the skull stuff, there's, like, museums that do scans of animal skulls and stuff like that, and they have them freely available. And then other people will do similar stuff, either, you know, that they've modeled or scanned and stuff like that. So I did... The only work part for the modeling that I did was slicing it, like... you know, doing the cuts on it to print it out into multiple parts. Oh, yeah, I did. There is this hole right here. I measured Kiwi's head and created a basic sphere shape with the correct proportions and stuff. But it was a free model. I got it on, like, Thingiverse or something like that, so...
Yeah, everybody uses it. Like, fucking everybody uses it. Like, it's all over Etsy.
But... yeah, I've debated on going through and doing some, like... custom modeling stuff, but yeah, I made the beetle, but I mean I've not really done. I mean I did the like one set of prints and then she didn't want any more, which is understandable because since her stuff is more like metal and things like that, so doing the kind of the resin. Other drama was happening. Okay. Right, well, she was also dealing with, like, a lot of her other personal stuff. So just kind of, yeah. But, I mean, whatever. It was fun to sculpt it, so... yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different types of models and stuff like that available. Depending on oh, sure, go ahead. Those are the earrings that you're... Oh, well, did you want the microphone here? Because
I put in all the little eye hooks.
Okay, good night. Yeah. Yeah, she turns them into earrings and like necklaces, like charms you can have on necklaces and stuff like that. So depending on the stuff. So I know Rebecca, or Kiwi, sorry. Kiwi had sent him over to a pair over to Carnage because Carnage had bought like something from her Society 6 and it took ages, and they fucked up the stuff, and she did end up getting like a duplicate copy of the purse print thing, but Kiwi felt bad and was like, "Here, let me send you the Raven Skull earrings," and so she has like different colors for the.
Oh, you like them?
Here.
These are plain.
The lighting is probably not ideal. There's plain black, and then there's the wolf skull. Fox, sorry, fine.
I have a bunch more, but like they're all
Packed away.
organized. Yeah.
The lighting is not great. I mean, you have your phone, you can like shine a light. Because I know the Fox one. No, those are both just black, right? They're not. The Fox one is iridescent.
Everything is falling apart! Boba, no! Boba, no! Boba, hey, get down. Fucking fuck off. Sorry. Okay, there you go. Yeah! There you go. See, this one is kind of shiny.
And it has the purple eyes.
Yeah, there's even this isn't like super great.
Yeah, it's kind of washing it out.
Now I'm doing Instagram shit. Hi, focus, please.
Come on.
I fucked it up. I made.
Yep, you fucked up the
I
camera.
fucked up the camera. Hold on. Move. Do something.
Yeah. Well,
I fucked it up.
here, take these back. My hand is. Ow. Let me see here. Do that. Autofocus out. New.
I know you can't see them now, but I have super long ones too.
Oh, there we go. It refocused. Yeah, because I mean, I know there's a lot of like Monster Hunter costumes that would be similar to this type of stuff, where you'd have the skull helmet type of stuff.
I have the green ones now.
I mean, if you want to show them off, fine. I'm not. It's show off your stuff. My stuff's boring. I'm just literally just melting.
Does anyone want to see green foxes?
Yeah, the foam
The foam would be better.
for sure is. Yeah. I mean, really, when you're doing the weapon stuff,
You want it to be light.
yeah.
The foam is better. I keep forgetting they probably can't hear me at all, huh?
I think it's picking you up.
Barely. I'm like a ghost whispering in the background.
No, you're.
Oh, I have necklaces too. I keep forgetting I have these. Then people will buy them and I forget, and I'm like, oh yeah, I made necklaces.
Oh, she's very quiet. Yeah, I mean, I'm using my headset microphone.
Why are you using a headset microphone, by the way? Not that it's not good.
Because using the microphone right there, it would be really quiet. The fan, the storm that was going on outside, and just kind of the distance, it just makes it easier to use the headset fan or headset microphone, because the USB microphone would just be kind of a pain in the butt while.
Yeah, it's just the same sheet how they feel it.
Yeah.
You'll have to translate for me. God fucking damn it! Oh, fucking damn. Did I forget?
Oh,
Did I forget?
she's just doing a lot of cursing.
Okay, I didn't forget what I actually.
Okay. Alright. Cursing redacted.
Fuckery, we're done.
What? Oh, you got another...
Sierra.
Yeah,
You should. Okay.
she got you another
Yes.
hubcap.
Yeah.
Did you want to grab your... your...
Oh, show them the.
show your current...
So again, you have to talk.
Yes, you're going to bring your current artworks of hubcaps with skulls and weirds.
Skulls and weirds.
I mean, what? Do you not think that is weird? Is that not weird?
So you'll have to tell them it was a hubcap that I purposely broke in half,
So it was a hubcap that she purposely broke in half
and then
glued and...
into fun. This one is a weird one. This one's very strange. This one's, I like it a lot, but it's very much like, if you look carefully, you can see I like, okay, tell them that I stuck like weird charms.
She stuck weird charms into
The children's stuff.
the resin,
Nope, it's not resin.
or clay or whatever. I
Nope,
don't...
it's not clay.
Okay, whatever.
Michael, do you know what it is? It's the filters from the fish tank. The filters have
Oh, okay.
rocks and charcoal
Oh,
and
okay.
a foam sponge. And when the rocks are done, you're supposed to just throw them away.
Okay, so you... Well, I mean, you glued that, right? So...
That's just glue and...
Okay, glue and rocks. Okay, whatever.
Okay, next one.
And so she's bringing in her next one, which is a more eldritch, spooky thingy.
Sorry, I can't, it's too big.
Okay, fine. Here.
I don't know what to say about this one. It's meant to be kind of spoopy. Originally I had actual antlers, but then the antlers fell off and I got fucking mad about it, and then I walked outside and I found a bush and I took some branches from the bush, and that's how this happened. Yee. You should tell them that it's a pain in the ass because it's so fragile and like...
She says it's a pain in the ass to carry around and pack up because the branches are fragile and they stick out a lot. Yeah. Well, I mean, Glitches, you're on Instagram, because I know you pushed your drawing stuff on there, so, Kiwi's on there, she...
Michael, but neither of my hubcap pieces of art are...
Oh, neither of those are actually on there? Well, all of your other skulls and stuff like that are.
Yeah, the other one that I sold already is on
The
there.
red one, yeah, well, you still have a few others, right, so...
Oh, there was one more thing.
There's one,
I
okay,
have one more present. This isn't a gift. This is a present.
okay.
From Sierra,
Oh, okay, so...
who got me the hubcap. She also found... Sorry, I rubbed it up really thoroughly. This!
Oh, okay. Oh, a broken horse.
I want to do... Tell them I want to do branches.
Oh, that's gonna be so fucking fragile to put branches on there.
Branches and resin?
Yeah, well... it's professional Kiwi... At professional Kiwi... Well, I mean, the obvious, whatever.
Well, okay, I'm sorry. You're not as Instagram-y. Just want to make sure.
There, that's the... That is her Instagram, where she posts always all of her art stuff, and when she's going to markets and stuff.
Right now it's mostly markets.
Mostly market stuff, yeah, but
It's mostly markets because I'm bad at updating all my shit because I'm really tired and I'm very sleepy. Oh, I can give you one more sneak peek on something I'm working on. Super secret.
she's saying it's super secret.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
It's a redesign.
Oh, she's redoing her bracelets. Here, let me... They're kind of washed out there with, yeah. So those are the Zodiac. They're kind
Brand
of,
news.
yeah,
Very shiny.
kind of hard to, like, using the cell phone is not. And she says thank you, Glitches. She will follow you back to follow all of your drawing artistic-y stuff as well. I don't know.
I'm not! Oh my god. Done. Oh.
I was gonna. So if there was a specific skull, Glitches, a specific animal skull, yes, whatever. Because I mean, Kiwi and I are both trying to be better about like actually doing more artistic stuff, and we're gonna be trying to go on the YouTube's grind. So at some point after, because I mean we got multiple projects currently in the progress here, so she is, at some point we're going to be trying to do a resin splash type of thing like this with a mirror, this mirror surrounding that. So that's going to be this month's video that we're going to try and do. Then next month was the gear sculpture thingy, which we haven't even started, and I don't even have any idea as to like the gears or anything on that. So, because that is going to be for like a steampunk event shopping thing that a festival over in Victor, Colorado that she's going to. So there.
No one's gonna understand what you say when you say Victor. You need to explain to them that it's
Victor, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's some extremely small podunk town that is literally like 6 blocks long in the middle of fucking nowhere. That is over by like, yeah, I mean it's a mining town, but it's also over by, what's that the other one that's like kind of big, but it's even still, that one wasn't. Cripple Creek, yeah. Yeah, that was the one I was thinking of. That's bigger, but even still, that was another mining town that, like, a bunch of touristy, yeah. I mean, because it's a bunch of old brick buildings and stuff like that for, but yeah. So they're doing a festival, arts. Steampunk soiree. Okay, fine. They're doing a art festival thing that is steampunk themed, so she wants to have a gear art piece for it. So we're gonna work on that. That will be next month's video, and then this is going to be October, but it's just kind of a longer project here because there's a lot of other parts that she's going to be working on with Cape, and she wants stilts and all this other stuff. So this is kind of like,
and a chest piece.
So there's the resin one will be pretty quick and easy. It's literally going to be like a 1-day thing, really. The resin mirror.
It'll be quick. I don't know if I use the word easy.
I mean, okay, I don't, whatever. Yeah, it'll be quite fine. Well, quick relatively. You mix the resin and wait a fucking hour or two and then pour it.
And poke at it every like 15 minutes. Is it ready now? Ready now?
Anyway, well, what I was, I think, I can't remember, because I thought I talked about it, so I know I've talked about it with a few other people here and there, and I know the internet dropped out there as well at some point, but I bought tickets to a art, or like a maker convention thing it was like a content creator maker thing, kind of like VidCon and Maker Faire combo. That's the vibe that they were trying to go for. It was called Open Sauce. It was actually like run and like initiated by a YouTuber guy called William Osman. He does a bunch of weird. It's like a combo comedy, electronics and other miscellaneous type of stuff. Think maybe like Mark Rober, but like an idiot is the joke that they are always making. So there was quite a few people with their Alan Pan, Backyard Scientist, and a lot of stuff like that. So I had bought tickets to it. Me and Kiwi went over there. It was in California. It was in July, and so we got very inspired, and we're just like, oh well, shit. Now they are gonna have one next year, so we need to work on a bunch of shit, get a lot of stuff made, and try and either be. I mean, it's not gonna happen with trying to be like a featured creator to, get invited and be like, oh hey, you're on YouTube, you have enough videos that are enough followers that people know who you are. That's not going to happen in a year at all, for sure, but just kind of having the costumes and different arts and electronics. So I have that Eikthyr deer skull thing that I just dropped and never finished, and I need to get back into that. There's number 4 after Halloween. So
Number 4 after Halloween are those fucking antlers I haven't finished with that.
well, all right, fine. Then you will do that. I will work on my thing, and it'll potentially start actually having a backlog of stuff. Maybe. I don't know. Because, I mean, you're not going to need me for any of the antlers stuff.
He did talk about wanting to print the band logo. So I might.
Okay, well, that's very basic, so.
As some kind of raised placard or something.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so trying to get on that stupid content creation grind and
Do you have music today?
no.
Why?
Because then I wouldn't be able to use, if we're gonna cut out stuff for the so I mean that, but it's also kind of like if people want music, it's kind of like me playing my own music. And I mean, I've actually been kind of talkative today, actually, so I mean, it's surprising me. So no, I've not been playing music, but that's just kind of a...
Is it... Can I try it on?
Fine.
Oh, I can do it now? Wow, it's pretty solid.
Turn.
This is intense. It's very big. Sorry, I already have my retainer in for the night, so I can't.
Oh, yeah, so you can't know. But yeah, there. It's... Yeah, I mean, we already knew that, so...
Wow, it's huge.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's like 2 feet, so... I mean, it's...
That's creepy whenever I smile.
Okay, good night.
Door, this is just wide open back here. Keep an eye on Boba. In case you like.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I
alright.
want the air though, is the thing.
Yeah,
It feels really nice, but like.
yeah. We don't have straps on it yet, but yeah, when this is all, like, assembled and stuff like that, we'll have multiple straps on there, to help hold it in the back, so... No straps yet, but there will be later on. And welcome back, Bits. Yeah. You got your caffeine. Oh, jeez. Yeah. It's a constant issue. Exercise is annoying. So you mean a 5-kilometer walk on that, Bits? I mean, that's quite a while. That's quite a walk. Is that like one way? Okay. 200-meter up and downhill. Okay. 5 minutes. Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure. Okay. I mean, it felt like he was gone longer than 5 minutes, but I mean, I guess there's the shopping and stuff like that. Yeah, and if it's like a steep up and downhill, uphill both ways. Uphills both ways, covered in ice. People throwing rocks at you along the way. Gotta dodge out of them, you know. Get chased by a rabid dog. Alright. This is my first time doing like the soldering iron trick here to like get this gap smoothing type of thing here, eh? Looks a bit rough at the moment, but after some sanding and priming and some other stuff like that, I think it should turn out well. I think the combination of glue and this fusing here will be very solid, which is good. Very slow, but you know, whatever. It's kind of meditative. It's very simple work, so it's literally just kind of like, you know, drawing circles over and over and over again, kind of just getting the plastic to run over each other, so. So it's meditative, but I'm sure it's boring as hell to watch. This is the type of stuff that, you know, I mean, I've been at this for, what, an hour? Yeah, I mean, some people, yeah, but, you know, this is also in the YouTube video where you go through and do the time-lapse and go through all of this stuff and this speeds through in like 10 seconds. And you're just like, oh yeah, you know, this, I went through and glued everything together, and I totally won't tell you how long it took. But yeah, no, it's all kind of just a difference as to, like, you know, live stream versus editing and all this other stuff, so just kind of just chilling, hanging out, chatting. Kind of why I also, I think it's a bit easier to, I don't usually talk a lot, so I actually think not having the music is helping me become, like, if I'm listening to music, it's easier for me to like zone out and just kind of space out and not say anything, but I have to talk to myself and keep myself engaged, so it's easier, I think, which is odd. Yeah. Well, I'm streaming on Twitch and YouTube at the moment. I'm just using Restream and just doing both, so it'll like save the live stream there, so I can go through and pull the video from there as well. Because I'm just kind of like, whatever, just, you know, just do multiple things. I don't really fucking care. I'm not even, like, the I'm streaming on the combined channel that both Kiwi and I are going to be using, so I'm not using on my own individual one. So it's a weird thing where we're just trying to still trying to get the Twitch stuff going, but also get the other channel, get stuff going on that as well at the same time. I don't know. But the live streaming on Twitch is not as... You know, you have to have followers on YouTube, and so then you get your subscribers getting notified as to when you're doing live stuff, so me just doing a random live stream on YouTube, it's highly unlikely that anybody's gonna stop by and hang out or anything like that, but I got the video, so that's really all that matters, kind of just... Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Highly unlikely. I mean, because there's no, there is kind of a rating function thing within YouTube, but honestly, it's just YouTube's viewing setup stuff is just, for categories and other stuff like that, is kind of just awful. It's their live setup just is not great. So I'm streaming up more to YouTube just for kind of archival purposes of having these live streams up here for that. So. I have a Kick, but the issue is the thing that I'm using, the Restream that does the duplicate stuff. You can only do 2 things at once, so I could not I could pay premium, and it's a monthly cost where you can get more channel or more streaming stuff. And so that way you could do Twitch, YouTube, Kick, Instagram, and all this other type of stuff all in. But for the free account, it's a maximum of 2. And I also just kind of don't want to... It's not really worth it at this point to pay for it, really. Because it's just kind of basically burning money for nothing. Because there is for sure an element of, you should be trying to do the multiple channels and all that other stuff just to diversify, pull crowds from one area into the other, and things like that. Potentially, that's one of the, the thing versus YouTube versus Twitch, where it's Twitch is a live-only service thing, so the only time you can be actively found is while you're streaming, whereas YouTube is a perpetual thing. So if you have videos you've uploaded, and the live streams aren't like that, they don't really show up like that, but having the live streams up there for maybe, we'll see. But I don't know. It's just doing it to have fun, kind of show what I'm working on. Hopefully try and, show some people how to do stuff. Get them to be like, to get off their butts and do stuff. Because it's hard. Motivation and discipline for doing art stuff is a pain. Yeah, I'm not sure how you mean by that, Glitches. I'm curious, like Bits said, how do you feel that Kick is limited? Like, in what way? I was actually surprised that Kick went through and had the settings and set it up where you can like block the gambling and titty streamers. They have it set up where you can like in the settings on your account you can hide the gambling section and people doing gamblings and people doing the hot tubs and stuff like that. I was very surprised that Kick did that. You gotta go to bed? Yeah, no worries. Thank you for the raid, Glitches. Thanks for hanging around and chatting. You have yourselves a good night, and we'll catch you around later as well. So I know you were saying you had the ink stuff drying for your drawing. Hopefully that turns out well and you like how it goes, and you keep at it. Keep at that dang ol' art grind. Oh, I can show it here real quick. So I did like a really quick rough is it showing up? Do I still have it? Apparently not. Shoot. Well, alright. I guess not. Never mind. I had a quick and dirty, like, painting thing that I had set up for in Blender, just trying to, like, get an idea as to the pattern, but, it doesn't seem to be working. I can't see it on there. But basically it's gonna be, from Kiwi was saying she wanted kind of a root type of pattern on it, so we'll kind of have some like roots starting along here, coming out along there, just kind of spreading along in there, and then starting at like the beak and coming out along in that. So that's gonna be the plan for this. I wonder if I'm going to be able to, like, weaken that, or, like, heat it up enough that it'll, like, start to bend or anything like that. Because it doesn't really seem like it. Yeah, it's not really wanting to bend. Yeah. Darn it. Okay. Well, whatever. But I know, like, what Glitches was talking about with, like, Kick and how it feels a bit limited. There is some elements of just kind of, like, commands, also just, like, there isn't any sort of redeem stuff. There's, like, they do have the sort of like points, the like the bit system type of thing, where you can, you know, I don't remember what they frickin' call them, but you can, like, there's both the sub and then like the individual donation within that. But I don't know. Even with the being able to block the gambling and the hot tub streams and stuff like that, even within the just chatting, like the few things that I watched there that were like the top ones, it was still like, oh my god, it was just toxic. Like, the big stuff that I saw on there was these, like, Omegle people, where they would basically just, like, jump around, different Omegle chats. And it's like, you know, whatever, that could be potentially cool, but the streamer themselves, they were just really, trying to think of a good word. Because it was just really cringy to watch. They were not even necessarily like yelling profanities. I mean, sometimes they were having like profanity and stuff like that. That wasn't super often, but just kind of like I trying to remember the specifics. Like the one guy that I watched, I don't even remember the name. He was yelling quite a bit, and I was just like, oh my god, I can't stand this. And then I went through and switched to a different person, and then it was just kind of really awkward. No, I wouldn't even say necessarily narcissistic or anything like that. Just really fake. Very, like, there's an element of being, like, trying to be entertaining and other stuff like that. You can, put on a facade, but there's an element of, like, where you're going too far and you're trying to be, like, crazy, and you're just... Like, I'm not necessarily opposed to weird or slightly crazy, but, like, the stuff that I caught on there was just, like, it was just painful to watch for me. I'm just like, oh my god, you guys are just basically kind of doing the shock humor type of stuff. Not even, like, necessarily, like, in sort of a... how would you describe it? It was shock just for shock. There wasn't any sort of, like... critique or intention behind it type of thing. It wasn't, basically just kind of, 4chan humor type of stuff, and I'm just like, I can't watch this. And it was like a lot of the top things that I was seeing, because I popped through the just chatting on Kick a little bit, just went through like 5 different things. I mean, it was a lot of Omegle stuff, at least when I was going through it, where they were just kind of jumping through. So it was a lot of that same sort of stuff, and I'm just like, yeah, I can't do this. But yeah, but I feel the same thing. It's just kind of like it's hard. Like I understand how and why that type of personality develops on streams and stuff like that. Like once you've kind of reached a specific threshold where it's just like, you know, there's I mean it's money, but then there's the other element of like, you know, once you've reached a point where, you know, you have like even just like 50 people in chat, if you have like active 50 people in chat, it's just impossible to keep track of who says what. So you lose the personal connection to people in chat, and so. But there's the other element of, you know, wanting to feel valued from other people and other stuff like that, where, you know, yeah, there's the element of, you know, streaming it for fun and other stuff like that, but, you know, if you're making something, you want people to pop in and be like, oh, hey, you know, that's cool, or, you're talented, or other stuff like that, and then, or when you're doing, you know, music or just chatting and you're like, oh, you're trying to be funny and entertain and all this other stuff. It's this like vicious sort of cycle that it seems like it's really hard to stay sane. Both money, clout, and stuff like that, just they fuck with people, it seems. Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm like, there is elements of, you know, wanting to do funny, weird stuff, you know, like you have with your Oink Riot and Redeems and other stuff like that, and like technically that is, you know, kind of putting on a show. But you know, it's funny, it's fun, you know, stuff like that. So you want people to, you know, not be bored and stuff like that. But it gets a bit weird trying to grow to a point where people pop in where it's, if you're just trying to do like a hangout or whatever, I don't know, it sucks. I kind of just, that's where I'm extremely lazy about the streaming stuff. And I'm kind of just, I'm like that because I don't want it to become a show, you know? Just want it to be, yeah, you know, hang out, have some fun, things like that, but I just... But I think that's part of the other issue is that, you know, when you're going through and watching stuff on YouTube or watching stuff on Twitch and other stuff like that, yeah, there are some people who kind of just, you know, have stuff on for background noise and just to kind of be nice and chill and hang and stuff like that, but, like, it's not where the money's at, it seems. A lot of the big ones are there for entertaining and high energy and stuff like that. So if you're able to get to a point where, you know, a chill stream becomes big enough, you kind of have to transition over into this like high energy persona just to continue to grow or other stuff like that. Otherwise you kind of just like stagnate if you care about the numbers and all this other stuff. It's what it seems like, but I mean, I don't know. But it's also part of that. Oh, criminy, fuck. Of you know, there's a part of me that if I had the time and I was getting money for this to the point where it was like just, you know, sustainable and stuff like that, I wouldn't mind doing this as like a full-time job, doing the streaming and art stuff, and that's kind of why I'm, you know, trying to do a little bit of YouTube stuff, trying to, you know, maybe see what happens if, you know, put in the effort, see where it goes type of thing. But it turns into that vicious cycle again. If you are seeking out like money alone, it gets bad. And that's the issue with people like us, where it's kind of like, you know, I hate money. I understand why it exists, but I still want it, and there's a part of me that tries to like fight that urge of being like, you know, I mean, I would say that I'm not anywhere near as bad as like some people with like, you know, crazy spending and all this other stuff. You know, people throw themselves into enormous amounts of debt just buying like the most asinine, most expensive of stuff. And I try to, I still, you know, probably overconsume in elements of certain things and buy stuff that I don't necessarily like need and won't use and other stuff like that, but I'm not like throwing myself into huge amounts of credit card debt trying to buy it type of thing, you know. Alright. this seems pretty... I've got, like, all of the... well, I guess I still have this part here that I need to fix. Actually, so... Here. I'm going to actually take the support here and kind of just like melt it into this. As I was trying to debate on like finding a just grabbing some filament and stuff, but it's like I have such a huge amount of support here that I need to just try and like get rid of. So I will just take the support and use it as a filling. Man, it looks nasty doing it like this, but at least like up front. And go through here after it's ba 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 ba. Man, it looks... Some of these parts are nasty and brown and black and burned and shit, but, you know, doesn't really matter after the sanding and the the paint and stuff, so. Alright, so almost done, kinda. Ugh, this is rough at the moment. Very rough. Come on, there we go. All right. Okay. That is good. And then I've got this little spot right here that I need to fill in. Man, it is ugly. All right. Think that's it. So, now I need to start penciling in some designs. Is this even gonna... Yeah, okay, cool. Pencil will work. Oh, it's going to be a lot of work here. So... Alright, so... I should have probably taken a picture of the final thing before I had assembled it, but I guess it's on video here, so I can just kind of grab a snapshot from this. I want to try and mirror, but I know it's not going to be exact, and I'm just going to have to deal with it. I don't know how well these lines are showing up on... they're showing up okay. Not amazing or anything, but, you know. Whatever. Just kind of the way it's gonna be. Bits, you still around? What you think? If you can even see it, it's not really showing up well. Okay. Hopefully that's a bit better with a... Yeah, it's a bit better. Shit, that's really fucking hard. Okay. Okay. So it starts to go down. Alright. I think... I'm just gonna, like, thicken up these lines just a little bit here. But I'm probably gonna call it after this. Get some sleep. See how Kiwi feels about the design that I've traced out here. See if I mean, I like it. It's and if all goes well, I will probably be back at this tomorrow, doing some more, like, actually carving this design out here. Well, I mean, not really carving, more like melting it, but since it's just using the soldering iron and stuff. Alright. Yeah, that is not zooming or focusing well, sadly, but stupid camera is not zooming or focusing well. Come on. Alright. So it's kind of the pattern I'm thinking for it. Hey, Toasty Pineapples, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. How are you? Sadly, I'm probably going to be stopping here shortly. I'm kind of just going through, sketching some stuff out on this, trying to figure out a pattern on it. Thanks. Yeah, it was a free model for like the skull itself for the Raven skull, but I went through and Blender like pulled out the hollowed this out for a size of it, printed it out in 4 different chunks and have like glued and I was just going through and like soldering. You can probably see them a little bit here, and I mean I'm gonna go through and like sand them out and stuff like that, but it was like used a soldering iron to kind of melt the plastic together, stuff like that. So right now I was kind of doing a sketch out here with a pencil just to. So the plan is I was going to be going through with the soldering iron again here, and kind of like just carving traces out through this. So this entire thing will be like a faint glow-in-the-dark white, and then these lines that I carve out will be like a very strong like glow-in-the-dark blue. So that's the plan for this. Do you do any type of crafting stuff? I mean, if you're hanging around here at the makers and stuff like that, I mean, I know this is a little bit kind of specialized just because I used a 3D printer to like go through and you know, printed it out, had to like do some modeling stuff for slicing it and stuff like that. You build plastic models. Okay, nice. So do you buy like the sort of kits and stuff like that, and just kind of assemble and paint those with like the either, you know, Warhammer, Gundam, other different stuff like that? Or do you actually do like the Gundams? Nice. Yeah, that stuff, I know the painting on those is crazy. This is significantly easier because I'm not having to like, you know, paint a tiny little dot on it type of thing and stuff, so. You can learn to paint. Nice. Yeah, those are the details that I've seen for some people going through and doing the miniature painting. It's intense. I have a resin printer. I've not printed out like super tiny miniatures. I've done like maybe one about like that big for a friend's birthday. It was Inosuke from Demon Slayer. It was like a free model that I was able to find, so I went through. I didn't paint it or anything. I like primed it and other stuff like that. but I didn't go through, so it was all kind of just like a basic gray. I didn't know if he would want to paint it or anything like that, but I also just kind of didn't have time to even try and go through and paint it, so. Oh, yeah, I'm sure those kits are expensive. I've not done any type of kits ever. I know there's a whole different sort. There's like the Gundams and all the like, you know, different vehicles, boats, airplanes, cars, all that type of stuff. I know those can get fucking super expensive from what I've seen. A lot of the stuff I do is just the 3D printer. So like the model for this was free. It was just freely available. I think it was probably in multiple places. I think I got it from Thingiverse for like the Raven Skull part itself. So I did go through and I had to cut out in Blender. So another free 3D modeling program. So I took some measurements, made a very basic sphere type of shape, and just used a bool. Super simple stuff for being able to do that. And then this in itself, material-wise, for plastic, was maybe like 1.5 kilograms, so like 1.5 to 2 rolls of filament. So like I'm near Micro Center, so I get my filament from there. A kilogram is right around $20. So for this skull itself, material cost wise, it was only $30-40, which, you know, for the size of it is very cheap for sure. But, you know, depending on if your, you know, job and financial situation and stuff like that, even $20 to $30 can still be expensive. But there is the upfront cost of getting the 3D printer and then just kind of maintenance and other stuff like that. But, you know, you can get a 3D printer, get a smaller bed one for a few $100 and break it apart into multiple stuff, glue it together and do that type of stuff. So you don't really need like a huge massive printer that's really expensive. You can just kind of, you know, cut it up into multiple parts and do it like that. So it's, the printer is kind of expensive up front though, for sure. More expensive than the materials, but that's also like, you know, you buy the printer, and if you're doing a lot of stuff like this, like this is the second helmet I've done like this. Here, you can see it up on the wall. There's that other one, that's the wolf skull one. That was one that I did last year. So I just do it for my Halloween costumes for my partner. She does a lot of art stuff and things like that. You learned pre from CAD? Nice. Yeah, so you've got all the basics that you need for doing any type of stuff like that, then. Because, yeah, you can, if you got no CAD or you know any 3D modeling stuff, you know bools and all that other type of stuff. I know it's not Gundams or anything, but I know there's some kits for like smaller stuff, super simple stuff for, but I would assume that there is some like actual kits that you could kind of like print out But oh yeah, thanks. It's kind of a mess. Kiwi does a lot of the decorating stuff. So like I did the most of the helmet. She added the fur fox ear stuff, and then a lot of the alright, well, so like that board that I did that, painted it out. I still need to, it's a storage thing for, there's like a 3D printing thing for called Gridfinity. It's a mess because Rebecca's, or Kiwi, sorry, she has a art market thing because she does earrings and necklaces, sculptures, paintings, type of stuff, and she goes to art markets and sells those and stuff like that. So a lot of the stuff there is stuff that she needs to, that she's going to be packing up to, so it's kind of a mess. But yeah, I mean, Blender is a nice, free, cool program. So you know, I mean, I know there are some like free 3D CAD programs and stuff like that. So, but that board that I have in the back there, it's like the Gridfinity storage thing. So I still need to print out more of the wall mounts. So that's basically just kind of a wood board I mounted to the wall. So that way I could, because when I'm doing all the like smaller, actually I can pull it here. I have a little shelf thing here. So this Gridfinity thing, it's a it's an open source modular storage type of thing. So it's kind of just like an organization thing. So you would put little magnets in here, similar to like this, so it'll just kind of like snap and hold itself into place. There's a whole different assortment of different containers for this, so you can do like smaller ones or larger ones, you know, 1x1, 1x2, 2x2, 2x3, 2x6, and just like, it's a open source tool, and so a lot of people, like the measurements and stuff like that, so people have made all different types of like this was a model somebody had made for wall mounting stuff. The original thing was like a cube. This was like one of the original ones. It was by a guy, and he had like a grid that you could like lay out on the table, and so you would like have it as like a placeholder on like a table or in a side of like a drawer. So you'd like pull out your drawer, and you could like pull out like, you know, a thing of screws or other stuff like that. So I'm building out that system, that setup for a lot of miscellaneous electronic components. I have a bunch of resistors, capacitors, switches, and a bunch of other shit. Because I've been trying to go through and do a lot of different stuff with different electronic things. I've been going through and building modules, so I'll buy like DIY kit modules for Eurorack synthesizer stuff. So I can pull out my case here that I've got going. Alright, so this is the case that I've got going on here for this. I don't know if you know anything about synthesizers. So basically it's a modular synthesizer, so it's kind of like when you're thinking old school, you know, or like techno music type of stuff, your synthesizers, when you're using like a digital workstation like, you know, Ableton or Fruity Loops or other stuff like that, you're using VSTs, which are virtual instrument, and they're basically like virtualized parts of this stuff. This is all analog, so you have things like wave generators for like sine waves, sawtooth, and then you take those, you can pass them into different things, mix them, and so I have like a sequencer here that will like play a sequence of notes. So you know, push in the buttons, create a sequence, it'll loop that sequence over and over again. You feed that into an oscillator, that oscillator goes out into however, whatever you want, and it's just like, it's really crazy and interesting. So it's, and I have a bunch of miscellaneous stickers on it. That's like the only thing I use stickers on. But yeah, so that's why I have like that whole board that I'm trying to build out for just kind of miscellaneous electronic components and stuff. Oh, I mean, I dabble in too much. In too damn much. Because, I mean, I got into, like, very original, like, I mean, when I was a little kid, I drew a little bit, nothing super serious, played the guitar a tiny bit. Never got, like, I still have a guitar, but I don't, like, actively practice it. I still know chords and stuff, but, you know, whatever. The things that I've like gotten into and been doing a lot more consistently was 3D modeling. I got into 3D modeling when I was trying to do game development stuff, so I was, you know, messing around with Unity and programming and other stuff like that. So I was messing around with Unity, Unreal, and then with the 3D modeling, I was like, you know, I can take this knowledge that I have from 3D modeling, not only use it for game models, but it can transfer into the 3D printing. And I had been watching a whole bunch of different videos about 3D printing and all this other stuff for quite a while, and I was like, I want to buy a 3D printer. But at that point, when I was learning Blender like 6 years ago now, or even longer, shit, fuck. 3D printers were pretty expensive for a decent one. But yeah, so I did end up eventually buying like a $100 really crappy Chinese ANET and did a fair amount with that. And then I've just been like slowly, I got two other printers now that I don't have that ANET anymore. I disassembled it because it was just like, it was garbage. But I've got like a resin printer that I print out a lot of stuff for Kiwi's art stuff for her, like, so this like Raven Skull model is, she has it, I wonder if she still has the stuff out here. Doesn't look like it. But I print out a batch of like 50 small little ravens at one time, and then she will go through and like paint them or just add little like, so we've got like this one right here, I put a little hole in the model, so she has this eyelet that she can add in there to, you know, dangle it, have it as like from a necklace or earring or other stuff like that. So yeah, You got that for, and like there's a wolf skull thing that she does as well, and that I print out a lot. And nice, yeah. Drums are cool. I don't have the space for drums, but I'm sure they're fun. Just, you know. And what's up, your god? How you doing, man? Thanks for stopping by. Tony Hawk Birdhouse skull logo. I don't know that. I'm not super familiar with Tony Hawk stuff, but yeah, I was just chatting here with Toasty here for a bit. So I was drawing out the pattern stuff here for this. I'm gonna go through with a soldering iron here, probably tomorrow because it's getting late for me, and just like carve out this stuff. The plan for this is the entire thing will be like a faint glow-in-the-dark white, so the entire thing will slightly glow, very, very lightly, but these carvings that I do in here will be painted blue with another glow-in-the-dark blue, so it'll like faintly, everything will faintly glow in the dark, but the lines will be like bright. That's the plan for this. Still got a lot of carving and sanding and stuff like that to do on it. And thank you, Toasty. I mean, I always enjoy kind of, you know, talking with people, explaining stuff. I mean, one of the reasons why I started streaming a long time ago when I was first learning Blender was just kind of to hang out with people. I hung out with a lot of different Blender streamers and stuff like that, just learning and chatting and stuff like that. It's you know, I don't particularly feel that any of the stuff that I do is super hard. It is a lot of things. So like, you know, I had to know the 3D modeling to be able to like slice this up into different stuff. I had to have an idea as to like, you know, figure out dimensions for a 3D printer to get an idea of what will fit where. There's the 3D printer itself, but these are all like things that I've been doing for miscellaneously for years now. So it's kind of just like, I wouldn't say I'm, you know, I'm not an expert, but I've been doing it long enough as a hobby that always willing to chat, answer questions, explain stuff, things like that. So I enjoy trying to help people do stuff, teach them, and get them to do their own stuff, you know? It's hard to keep motivation up. I run into that a lot with different things. It's easy to feel undervalued, underskilled, and that nothing's worth your while and stuff like that. So it's just kind of, you know, if you can have somebody cheering you along or helping you or anything like that, it's always nice, you know. You gotta help gotta help people out however you can. I really do have to get to bed here, though. Sadly, it is almost 2 o'clock in the morning for me. So, who are we going to raid? I mean, Vinny's online, Saradin's online. Saradin's usually going offline by now, though. I'm surprised he's still online. You're good. I'm not sure if you're still around here. You have any suggestions? I think I might just probably go raid, Voldy. Oh, shit. The ads were going in. Alright, well, that's done. I don't know how long those ads are running for. I need to get to bed here. So, appreciate everybody here hanging around. We're gonna go raid Voldy. We'll catch you around tomorrow. I'm gonna confirm with Kiwi, make sure she's happy with this pattern. And yeah, I'll do some sculpting and stuff like that tomorrow. And continue this on later. Appreciate y'all, and see you.
I'm gonna be working on just finding all the rings, I guess. 'Cause why not? Yeah, other rings I need to work on next. Bang bang! Thank you for the raid. Bang it there. What's up, man? It's a covenant where the red and blue massacre. My congrats, yeah. Yeah, I saw something about